What's up, guys? We have a life update for you, and as you can see from the title, yes, we just made $1 million bucks. But I want to stop real quick because in order to make these $1 million bucks, we are actually moving. We're actually moving again.
Yes. So as you guys know, when we moved to Glendora, that was supposed to be our forever home.
I don't even want to use that term anymore, okay?
I know, but that's the term, okay? And then when we moved here, honestly, it was supposed to be our forever home.
I didn't want to call it a forever home because I'm just like, yo, our track record right now, every year we've been moving, so I'm just calling it a home. I think in my heart I wanted it to be a forever home, but it's okay.
Okay, so I'll give you guys a little bit of context of how all this came to be. You guessed from the title, we did make $1 million from specifically real estate by putting two and two together. So long story short, we heard on the street, because we always keep our ears to the street, that a lot of the homes in this area started going up in value.
Yeah, because everyone started leaving California. People started moving because of, lockdown and just people working remotely. Everyone's like, well, wait, why am I going to stay in a city that I'm not happy with or it's not conducive to my lifestyle? So I'm bouncing. And there was like this huge exodus happening.
Yeah, exodus, not just from California, New York. Like it's been like I call it like an Etch-a-Sketch. If you ever had that toy, when you draw.
You're so old.
And then when you need to reset it, you go, like it feels like from the state, there's like people moving from Florida to somewhere else, from people to Texas, Idaho, whatever. It's like all over the place, right? And we're on the street, we're talking with our neighbors. We found out that our house went up in value. So we decided to pull a HELOC. Shout out to Thatch. And what a HELOC is once your house has a little bit more equity, you can actually take a loan against yourself, and then you can use that to invest or do other things. So that's when we ended up appraising this house. And when we got the house appraised, they said your house is now worth over $1 million more than what you paid for. So we were like, oh my goodness, that kind of changed our plans a little bit, because we thought it was going to be like a few $100,000.
Yeah.
And we're like, $1 million is a ton of money. That's too much for us not to cash out on.
Yeah.
Especially knowing like some of the goals that we have.
Well, initially the HELOC was supposed to be for us to now start picking up real estate. Mm-hmm. So we were going to start expanding our family assets by pulling from the equity that the house has gained and then purchasing other homes around the area. So then when word on the street came back that our house and the HELOC came back, or the appraisal I should say, came back that we had gained $1 million bucks, then that's when we really sat down and we had a super serious conversation in terms of like, okay, family planning, 5, 10, 20, 30 years, what is that gonna look like? We are planning for baby number 2. So like really taking everything into consideration and into account, because also our parents are getting older. Like there's just so many life changes happening right now that we really wanted to put everything on the table and say, okay, what is going to be the smartest plan? And then we moved accordingly.
Yeah, like as you guys follow in the vlogs, we moved my dad over here, got him a house. And so it's always been like a big dream of ours to be able to move all of our family close. So, with $1 million, you can do a lot with it, but we wanted to make sure that we're making the smartest moves. So for us, the smartest move was to sell this house, cash out on it so that we can make that net profit to do what we need to do to build our family assets.
Yeah. And then before moving forward, I do want to point out that this is so rare and one of those like once in a lifetime opportunities where every one of our friends that are in the financial industry or like real estate industry, they were like, we've never seen this in our lifetime. So yeah, you guys are in such a great position. Even our realtor was like, for the amount that I've sold houses, yes, there's a lot of people moving into Vegas. She's like, but I have never in my history of work seen the value of a house go up this much.
Yeah, so in no way, shape, or form are we real estate professionals or experts.
No shit, I'm sure you know.
No, people look to me for all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, they look to you for the freaking bullshit that you talk.
Yeah, but in no way, shape, or form are we real estate professionals, experts, or anything like that. But in retrospect, when we were looking for an area, I do believe that we did look for some pretty key things that helped us find a house or a property that was able to go up in value pretty rapidly. And so that is the part that I really want to share with you guys, because I read in the comments all the time, because it's such a phenomenon in this day and age where a lot of people are working remote, so people aren't locked down to where they grew up. They can literally like live anywhere. Like we have a friend that is moving to Indonesia and he is working for Facebook, you know? So because of that, we wanted to kind of pass on some of the insights that we gained, and hopefully that can help inform your guys' decisions, and then hopefully you guys can also find sick properties that go up in value too.
Yeah, absolutely. We didn't have any mentors, or we didn't have even family member that we can look to when we were making this big change. Like we went from California, picked everything up, born and raised there, and then we came to Vegas. So that was like a huge undertaking, and I'm super glad that we did the research that we did. Specifically shout outs to Bart, because we do, in our marriage, we do try to really stick to certain roles and certain things when it comes to family building and how we raise family and how we take care of our family. Like for me, since I'm the mom,
She's always on the bottom position, I'm on the top.
I fucking hate you. But
or you're on all fours, I'm on two?
No, dude.
Which positions are you talking about?
The position, like our roles, the roles that we play.
Oh, you gotta be clear.
Anyway, so this was one of the things that he was looking into. He would do the report, he would look at all the things, and then he'd pitch it to me, and then I would give my 2 cents, and then we would go back and forth. So what were some of the things that you looked for?
So yeah, you might be going, why does this fool have a piece of paper on his leg the whole time? I actually wrote a bunch of notes because I don't want to forget, and these are some of the things that I think were really helpful to us, and I want to get it clear so that hopefully it can help you guys. So when we were looking for a house, we were moving out of California, we were really looking for a place that, one, has huge potential to go up in value rapidly, and two, since we grew up in LA, we pretty much have access to everything, so I didn't want to move to an area that felt like I was going to lower my quality of life. So for example, in LA, you have access to some of the best food in the world, and even one of the places that we considered, which is Idaho, because we had a bunch of friends that moved there too, and the suburbs look amazing. When I went on their Yelp, the food looked bleh.
I know, I couldn't even believe that you went to that extent, and I was like, dang, Bart really is looking for something very specific. And I think when I saw that, I let you take the lead, because I think if I was looking for something, I'd be like, okay, I want something that's close to my family, and I want something that doesn't look like sketch, you know, where I feel safe. And then I think I would look at, maybe what can I afford, and I think I would leave it at that. But you took it like 3, 4, 5 steps further, and you went on a Yelp where I was just like mind blown.
Yeah, because I think most people, they go numbers first, right? So they might even look into something like crime rate, or they might look into something as like how many homes in this area are paid off, because the more paid off homes there are, if there is a housing crash, the less homes default. So there's all these numbers that if you follow like all the top dogs like Thatch, Graham, Steph, and all these real estate dudes, like they can explain all those numbers things to you, and obviously I keep that in mind. But something that is very, very practical to me is like really imagining your daily life here. Because I also have heard of people moving to a place and then 3 years later, like, I hated it. And I think they probably were just married to the numbers and not really considering life. So for me, aside from the numbers, like that's for sure, it's its own approval process. After that, there's 3 main points that I really looked at to go, okay, cool. 1, I think this city is gonna be extremely livable. And then 2, that this city is gonna go up in value.
Okay.
So what I was looking for is pretty much a small city with big city amenities, because I think that's when cities are usually like the most slept on, where it has like all the makings of like being a great, like an LA, New York, Chicago, like one of those big cities, but people just don't know that it's gonna be one of those just yet. Like even like Austin, right? Like people didn't know Austin was gonna be the Austin of today. So these are the 3 main things that I was looking for.
Okay.
The first one is an international airport. So Las Vegas is technically a tiny city, and you can drive from one side all the way to the other in 20 minutes, right? We do that all the time. And even Vegas is so small that even most suburbs in LA, like those one city suburbs, are even bigger than the entire of Las Vegas.
Sure.
So yeah, so that's how small Vegas is. But what's really cool about that is Vegas, as small as it is, it has an international airport. Meaning from Vegas, you don't have to go to like 3, 4, 5 other like transfer flights to get to where you want. And if people want to come to Vegas, there's direct flights from Asia, Hawaii, from Europe, like, you know, it's so the ability for Vegas to grow isn't limited by the neighboring states. It's not actually limited by anything, you know. And even a city like as poppin' as Austin, and I would probably view Austin as, like, in terms of growth, even more booming than Vegas. They are barely expanding their domestic airport into an international one, whereas Vegas has been an international airport for decades. So that's number one, which is an international airport in whatever area you're looking at. The second one is master planned community, and known by us insiders as MPCs. Do you know what MPCs are?
You just said it, dude. Master plan communities. When you're looking for real estate, does it say it's a like, do they advertise it? Like, they put MPC?
Yeah, so certain cities, certain areas, they will tell you, because they're actually really proud of it. And if you've never heard this term before, a lot of the cities, the traditional older cities, they kind of just wanged it. You know, they just
built as they grew.
Yeah, they just built as they grew. So, like, in a lot of places in LA, you're like, wait, why is there all of a sudden all these commercial buildings? Then it's all these suburbs, and then all of a sudden, like, this is like, why is there a horse track over here? Like, none of this like makes any sense, right? And it's because they didn't have the entire vision of the city planned out beforehand.
Yeah.
So master plan communities, what they do is they look at older cities and the parts that they kind of like messed up on or could improve on, and then they already plan for how the city will be.
Yeah, and how like people live, right? Because I think like back in the day, when cars were first introduced, it was only like maybe one car per family. And now like if you go to the older cities, the garages are so tiny.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like we just became monsters, and like now we need so much space to like grow and like be. I feel like we became like bigger humans.
I mean, there's that too. I think the average height back then was like 5'7", whereas like a lot of people are over 5'10" now.
Yeah.
And also like if you go to like older cities, a lot of homes that'll be 3-4 bedrooms will have a 1-car garage. You know, and the 1-car garage might even be detached. They don't like, because they drove so little, you know.
Well, and the gas fumes, I think, because of the car.
Yeah.
They didn't want it attached to the house because it's stinky.
Yeah. So that's why I like master plan communities.
That's what us like smart people in like the car industry.
Okay, damn, she knows. Okay, so yeah, that's what I like about master plan communities. They take all that, like technology, how people interact, errors, bottlenecks of older cities, and they improve on them. So when you go to master plan community, like one that's really famous is like Irvine, there'll be like a big old plot of dirt, right? But they know that that is gonna be a Costco or a Walmart sized place that might get traffic up to the hundreds of thousands per day. So the streets that they plan around it are already gonna be 3-4 lane streets. Like, they already know, so they don't want any bottlenecks, versus like some cities, they might only have a 2-lane street, and then all of a sudden they're like, well, we brought a Walmart here. And then now they're like, what the hell, that intersection is like gridlocked all the time. And it's because they didn't really plan for it, and now they can't really widen the streets if they wanted to, because the business is already on like the sidewalk, you know? So yeah, like little stuff like that, where like wider roads, flood mitigation, cleaner overall appearance, higher speeds of internet. Even like where we live in Vegas, every single one of these homes have fiber optics, so that's 1 gig up, 1 gig down.
Even like the cords or something, right? Like, you're a big like visual person, so you're just like, I don't like that there's like telephone lines and everything running across, and I had never noticed that.
Yeah, so like I kind of have like a little bit of OCD. So if you go to older cities, like electrical and telephone lines run across every single street, and it just looks like a big mess to me. It looks like a bunch of spider webs all over the place. If you noticed. Yeah, if you go to like a master plan community, all of those have already planned like into the ground. Like where I was stationed in North Carolina, even the water lines are above the ground. So it was just a shit show of everything going all over the place, you know? So, and it kind of ruins the city's appearance, in my opinion. Whereas in master plan communities, obviously some power lines have to be above the ground because they have to be able to repair it.
Yeah.
But they'll have like one main one that goes down here, and then there's no homes around there, you know? So they plan it where it's very aesthetic. The workflow is great. So yeah, master plan communities, generally speaking, across the board, Florida, Texas, a lot of the places, the hotspots that people are moving to are master plan communities, and they hold in value. So that's a thing. One, you're gonna pay a slight premium for it, like the same exact house in not a master plan community might be $100,000 less, But keep in mind, over time, as you've seen in the case of this video in our home, it shot up in value because that's what everyone is looking for. The third thing is amenities. And yes, Vegas is technically a small town, and small towns generally don't have access to what like big towns have. So if you need to go to like the Apple store, for example, when we lived in Monterey Park, there was none.
Glendora, there was nothing.
Or in Glendora, there was none in our city, right, in Monterey Park. Or Alhambra, you have to go all the way to Pasadena. So that's only 2 cities away. Same thing with Glendora. You have to go Glendora, Monrovia, Arcadia, and then Pasadena. So everything was like almost the smaller town you are. If you want to eat at that new poppin' restaurant, it's always 2, 3, 4, 5 cities away. And so, but I love food and I love being up to date on things. So what's really cool about Vegas is it's technically a small city, but in this small city, I believe there's 3 Apple stores already. You know, so there's like, that you can stay updated with things. And then even on the errand side, like if you need to go to Best Buy, Home Depot, all that, like in the SGV, I believe like every 3 or 4 cities would share one Home Depot, you know?
Yeah, and I remember you doing something really smart where you would look at like big companies that are kind of trendsetters, and you're like, where are they moving? Because they see something and they have a vision and foresight to change like cultures, change the trend. And be ahead of it, and you're like, wherever they move, that's where I need to be looking. So I think like 2 of the stores that you mentioned that you're like, I'm always looking at where they're buying real estate because that's like a booming space. I think you said Apple is one of them.
Yeah.
And like Lululemon at that time.
So I actually have a trifecta because I think as much as us personal people are doing research, we'll never have the marketing analysis prowess the way that an entire marketing team would have in like an Apple.
Yeah.
Because those guys are searching and they're finding like exact demographics, earning potential, even immigration rates, like where's the city gonna be in the next 5, 10, 20 years? Because those guys are signing leases for like 10, 20 years, you know? So for me, I'm like, I'll rely on them. And then what hasn't failed me yet is this trifecta. Is Lululemon, Apple, and then a sick movie theater. So in LA, that's in that manifests as like an ArcLight, but IMAX is cool, or the Regal Cinemas where you can book your ticket like based off time. Those are cool. And I noticed when you have these 3, you'll generally find like a very clean, strong middle class type suburb with really good family life. Because you know, if you want like a good movie theater, you're usually going there with families.
Yeah.
So I think having those 3, generally, it has not failed me yet. Maybe it'll fail me in the future, but it has not failed me yet. Where generally, if an area has this, it will continue to grow and continue to boom. So yeah, amenities is freaking huge to me. And even like in LA, there's only one Rodeo Drive, right? If you want to buy like ball and shit for Mother's Day or something like that, they only have one of those. But in Vegas, you have Neiman Marcus, you have Forum Shops. Like there's literally like I think 3 or 4.
It's like the Fashion Island.
Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 LV stores. All of this, and you have like Michelin star chefs, all the way down to food trucks. Like almost every spectrum in every industry. You have Lifetime Fitness, all the way down to like mom and pop warehouse type gyms. Like the full spectrum in gym, fashion, food. From here to here, they have everything. And so amenities to me is an extremely huge thing, and you don't have to share it with anyone. It's not like the SGV where like Rosemead, El Monte, and Baldwin Park have to share one Home Depot.
Yeah. So it was really dope to watch you work and find it, and like I said, this is such a rare thing. Hopefully these things that helped us make our decision to move and what we were looking for can really help you guys, because I know, like you were mentioning and like I had mentioned earlier, we're all moving now to places that are more conducive to the lifestyle that we want to live. So yeah, this is what we went based off of, and I think you did an amazing job when it came to like picking the location, picking the city, you know, following the trendsetters and going, okay, they see value in it. I must like open my eyes to see what they see too.
Yeah. So these are the 3 main things that I look for when picking like areas that I think will go up in value. And even their new house that we picked, that we put a down payment on, even that place went up $100K already, and we haven't even moved in. So far, what I'm doing is working, and I'm happy I'm able to pass it on to you guys, you long-time CUNY people that have been following our CUNY family for such a long time.
Moving again, so it's not going to stop here. We knew that this was going to happen a few months back, but we didn't want to prematurely put the information out there just in case the deal fell through. We got, you know,
anything
everyone.
can happen in real estate deals.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely. I mean, it could still happen now, right?
Hope not. I don't want to jinx anything
at all. But now it's looking like we're moving closer and closer to just finalizing everything, deals made. But throughout this whole process, we actually have been filming, you know, us like picking the new place, showing how we're gonna build that from the ground up. We get to pick a lot of like we picked everything. Yeah,
literally everything.
And we had never done that before. So stay tuned because we have a bunch of content that we filmed in the past. You are gonna see me with my long pink hair. You are gonna see Taika a lot younger.
So he didn't shrink or like
all right,
or Benjamin Button or anything like that?
No, for sure. But I just want to like prep
Some people
you guys.
comment crazy stuff.
Yeah,
like,
well,
what? Did Taika just lose 6 inches?
These are people that are not subscribed. They don't know. They don't know what's happening.
Right.
But yeah, we filmed the whole process of us picking the new place, walking you through all of that as well. So stay tuned. All of that content is going to come out after this video. And yeah, anytime we can help with anything at all, please hit us up in the comments or hit up Bart DMs on Instagram, Bart Quan, me, Joe_Antoinette. And yeah, let's keep living life and grabbing life by the balls and making it what we want it to be.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people have had the urge to go like, you know what, I do want to try living somewhere else. Same thing with us, and we literally scanned like all of the United States, Idaho, Utah, Florida, Texas. I even like dabbled in Arizona just a little bit, Vegas. And so, you know, hopefully this helps you inform your decision, empowers your decision, or maybe wherever you're at, you're like, you know what, where I'm at literally has what you just named. Stay there, because based off of my non-real estate professional experience, expertise.
Why are your fingers bent like that?
This is how you know you're talking to an authority. They know what to talk about. When based off my expertise in real estate, you know, the place that you live is probably going to go up in value. So like Gio said, this is video 1 of our new home series, and we can't wait to share the rest of it with you guys. And
always thank you so much for riding with us through, you know, all of our ups and downs and fucking house changes and hair changes and body changes. Love sharing all this stuff with you guys. It's been so hard keeping it from you guys. You guys do not understand how hard it was to like not want to post everything. And some of you guys are so fucking on it. I love you. Y'all are like, wait, are you guys moving? Wait, are those boxes? Hey, we saw your listing, and we're like, oh, wait, not yet. Because the fucking world has been changing so rapidly. There's so many things happening with like presidents and in countries, and we're just like, holy crap. So it's been really dope to finally now share this with you guys, put it all out there. We love showing you guys our asshole. We love not keeping anything from you guys. So happy to move this forward.
Yeah, and can't wait to show you guys our new forever home.
I'm not fucking calling it that. It's just another home. The forever home lives in my heart with my family. So even if we live out of a fucking van, that's
our home. Forever home.
All right, the fucking motherfucker. All right, thank you guys so much. Love you always. Hit us up for whatever. See you soon.